Alright, I want to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us the truth 100% and continue to teach us the truth. I mean, we gotta continue to read, we gotta continue to examine ourselves. Also want to say salutations to the hopeful elect. You know, because we're working our own salvations. This video is going to be called, it's just going to be not an upload, but response to the video I just did last night, which I was going off myself too by not reading the entire scriptures. Let's go into and the response is going to be to my video Leviticus chapter 11 verse 20. And you know, all thou that let me get the actual verse here so I do not continue to going off and cause others to go off. This is Leviticus chapter 11 verse 20. All fowls that creep going upon all fours shall be an abomination unto you. Yes, the bat crawls, whatever. But that's just one thing that flies. Fowls doesn't necessarily mean birds. It means all things that fly. How do we know that? Because if we start reading more, then we could get some understanding. You know, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kadash is going to open up our eyes, our ears to listen, to see what's going on. Okay, with that, you know that I did make a mistake here by not continuing reading. Something we need to do is continue to read. I'm gonna go into Galatians chapter 6 verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Hamashiach. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceived himself. Let's go into, let's just keep reading. But let every man prove his own work, and he then shall have, Shalakia. Verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. So that's what we're going into. You know, we gotta make sure that we're going in the right direction. If I don't rebuke myself, if the Holy Spirit don't rebuke me by myself, you know, or the elders, or another camp leader, or another Akim, you need to understand this, because you got this video here that's saying chicken is an abomination because of Leviticus chapter 11 verse 20, which I went and told him it wasn't. But a thing is, yes, this is the bat, but it's not talking about a bat there. It can, because necessarily in the verse before it already talked about a bat. But let's get into a different video.
Now the word abomination.
Let's see.
And then he walks off on them. So it is not, they face a different direction. It is not a scientific error in the Bible. The Bible says the spider taketh hold with her hands. Now they happen to have 4 hands and 4 legs. 4 facing back, 4 facing forward. Look at them carefully. It's not a scientific error. This is John continuing again. God can explain himself just fine. The fact that spiders have 8 appendages instead of 6 like insects in Leviticus do is irrelevant. It shows that insects in the Bible have both hands and feet, and that is what the Bible clearly teaches. No matter what any entomologist says, the front 2 feet of Leviticus insects are hands, making the beetles have 4 feet, and that's that. That was John's way of answering things. Sure enough, there's a model of a fly. He has 4 feet and 2 hands.
You guys have been asking for praying mantises, and finally, we've got one. Look at that face. Looking back at you with those big buggy eyes. Reaching, trying to get to the next spot.
Are these rare?
No, praying mantises are extremely common. They're just so incredibly hard to find because they're so well camouflaged. Praying mantises are pretty savvy. And right now it's just looking for a leaf to get onto so that it can head back off into the rainforest and hunt for the night. And look at how he can just tuck his arms underneath his thorax like that.
And I'm gonna show you a couple other images of what he's talking about. Because what am I trying to do? I'm trying to correct myself. I'm reproving myself. The Holy Spirit is rebuke. I'm rebuking myself. The Holy Spirit was rebuking me today. And it was not all day. It just came when I got back home from work. The Holy Spirit told me to, hey, you need to go back and read and understand what's going on. So what does verse 21 say? Yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which have legs above their feet, that leap with all four to the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcasses of them shall be unclean until even. Verse 25, and whosoever breatheth up out of the carcasses of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until even, which is the evening. E-V-E-N, even, evening. So that goes from we're talking about the fowls of the air, which goes from verse 13 all the way to verse 25, and it's telling you you should be unclean, but it's telling you like the fowls of the air, you know, it's talking about verse 13, and these are the they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten, they are an abomination, the eagle and the ostrich and the osprey. So it's telling you certain birds you shouldn't be eating. Okay, it's telling you what not to eat. But then when you go into verse 21, it's telling you that those creeping things that you can eat. And let's take a look at this as well, because I just want you to get it clear.
Taketh hold with her hands. These 4 are legs. These 2 are hands.
Let me go a little bit back more.
Spider taketh hold with her hands. These 4 are legs. These 2 are hands. So when it says they have 4 legs, that is exactly. Grasshopper has 4 legs and 2 hands. Now he happens to walk on them all the time.
And he has wings. He flies. Okay?
But you watch a grasshopper for a while, and he'll use his hands and clean his mouth and rub his antennas, and those are his hands. And then he walks off on them. So it is not, they face a
Jiminy Cricket.
direction. It is not a scientific error in the Bible. The Bible says the spider taketh hold with her hands. Now they happen to have 4 hands and 4 legs. 4 facing back, 4 facing forward. Look at them carefully. It's not a scientific error. God can, this is John continuing again. God can explain himself just fine.
So whatever it is, you know, I just wanted to make this video. It's just a rebuke on myself, you know. It's better that the Spirit and the Akim rebuke me and that things are made the way they are. I'd rather be rebuked here on earth by the Spirit and by the Akim than be rebuked by the Most High. So when it's talking about these certain things, we need to understand. We need to. Things are made clear to the elect. To everybody else, it's just gonna be an abomination. It's just gonna be a stumbling block. With that, I want to say again, all praises and honor to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakak Kadosh. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and all the elders, including every those who are teaching the truth that come out of One West. At the end of the day, we're all Israelites, but there's only one truth. There's only one truth. As far as I know right now, that's coming out of GMS. There's nothing that's telling me that it's not. We need to appreciate the elders, the apostles, because they have been putting in work for years. Some of them decades. Not one, not two, but 3, maybe 4, going on 4, maybe 5. I don't know, but they've been putting in work. Alright? I'm a toddler to this. Maybe not a toddler yet. But I'm only 6-7 months into this. I'm still learning. Maybe give one more. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna close it off with that. Shalom, and to the apostles, to the elders, and to the hopeful elect who will continue to push the truth 100%. Shalom.